Not mute.
Okay. This is the meeting of the Fall River Commission on Disability, and it's Wednesday, October 14th, 2020. Danny, do you want to do the open meeting? Commissioner, do you want to do the open meeting? If not, I have it.
If you have it, then if that's not too much trouble.
Nope, I'm fine. I'm okay with it. I actually opened up to the page. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present, and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Okay. Can we? And also, I just want to remind people that when you're not speaking, if you can press *6 for mute, and if you and continue to follow the progress of the meeting. Continue to follow the progress of the meeting, and if you want to speak, you press *6 to unmute, and all votes that are taken must be taken by roll call in accordance with the open meeting law. So that's just what I wanted to remind everybody. And with that being said, can we have the roll call with Catherine Destrans?
Chairman Dennis Pacelli.
Present.
Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco.
Debbie, you can unmute yourself. I know she's present.
Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco. Commissioner Lisa Silva.
Present.
Commissioner Danny Robillard.
Present.
Commissioner Ann O'Neill Souza. Attorney Gary Howiak. And Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco.
Okay. Just for the record, I know Commissioner Debbie Pacheco rang in, so I don't know if she's having trouble with unmuting. It's *6.
Okay, sorry, Dennis. Thank you. I guess I am having trouble with the muting and unmuting, and I am here.
Okay. All right. Then the next order of business is approval of the minutes for September 9. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's back up a minute. I'm sorry, folks. Public input. So I'll do a second call for public input. If there's anybody that's muted or whatever, public input. And I'll do one more call for public input. And it's *6 to unmute, just in case you're out there. Okay, the next item is the approval of the meeting minutes for September 9, 2020. So
Motion to accept and approve the minutes of our meeting for September 9, 2020.
I'll second
that. Second. Okay. I will ask everybody on the commission to unmute by pressing *6, and we'll have a roll call.
Chairman Dennis Pacelli.
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco.
Yes.
Commissioner Lisa Silva.
Yes.
Commissioner Danny Robillard.
Yes.
Commissioner Ann O'Neill Souza. Attorney Gary Howiak.
Okay, so the minutes have been approved. The next item is updates. Let's start with ADA, and I've asked Tammy Motino, who's the project manager, facilities project manager, to give us any updates on anything related to ADA, construction, or anything like that. So the floor is yours. After you press *6 to unmute. Is Tammy Motino there?
I wonder if there's a problem with the muting.
I don't know.
'Cause I had that problem last time.
Tammy Motino there? Okay, I'm going to make a second call for Tammy Motino, pressing *6 to unmute. Is there a difference on cell phones, you guys, for muting and unmuting?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I guess, why don't we move on and I'll come back. What?
Tammy just sent me a message. She's having a trouble unmuting. It's not unmuting her.
Yep,
that was my problem last time too, as well.
Normally on a cell phone, every cell phone I've ever had, if I want to mute, I just mute the microphone. I've never had to mute using a set of numbers or a sign. So yeah. I don't know.
And I can't, unlike Zoom. On Zoom, I can't. Well, I wouldn't know how to do it anyway unless I did some training. But on a phone, I don't have the authority. Not that I don't have the authority, but there's no central muting and unmuting. It's done by each individual line. So I don't know what kind of a phone she has or anybody, but usually it's *6.
I just know that when I want to mute my cell phone, I just mute the microphone, and that mutes the phone.
I would just have her hang up and call back in.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll come back.
I'm texting her right now.
I'll come back on that item, which might be very soon because we don't really have a long agenda here.
Okay. I just sent her a text to hang up and call back.
A call back. Okay. The are there any policy updates from the vice chair?
Nope, no updates at this time.
Okay. And there's no financial update at this time either. So that takes us to outreach. I told you. Lisa, any updates from your?
No new updates.
Okay.
Have we set a date? Have we set a date?
While we're waiting for Tammy to dial back in, why don't we go to new business and the changing time for this meeting? As you can tell, Ann O'Neill Souza's absent because she now has a radio on WSAR every Wednesday afternoon from 3 to 4. And where she is a voting member and a representative from the mayor's office, we definitely need to change the time. And they also want to be sensitive to the time commitments and to both Debbie and Lisa, who have working and job-related commitments. So I was thinking of a couple of options. One option was 4 o'clock, and the problem with that is we have to make sure we have no flexibility from 4 to 5. We have to make sure we're done at exactly 5 o'clock because of we run into union issues and things like that with clerks. So that's one option, 4 o'clock. And as long as we're in the pandemic and we're doing it, I can tell you that these meetings are recorded. So if people felt that 4 o'clock was the best time, and I'm not, again, I'm just going through the options. We do have a recording option. And I always make sure that at the end of each meeting, when I get the report from the service that we're using, I always make sure that I forward the recording component to Catherine Destrom's. So if 4 o'clock were to turn out to be the only time for people, please know that as long as we're in this format, the meetings are recorded. And if Catherine had to leave at 5 o'clock, that shouldn't be a problem because it's recorded. The other option would be 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, and again, because I wouldn't let issues like, Anne has to get to WSAR, so she'll have to leave. That I wouldn't let all that get in the way right now because of this format that we're using, and I think we're going to be in this format for quite a while. So we could do 2 o'clock on Wednesday, and then the other option, the last option, is go back to Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock. So does anybody, I'm opening the floor for any discussion on any of these options before we get to a motion.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep. And by the way, people should unmute themselves if they wish to speak on this matter. Go ahead, Commissioner Robillard.
I would give deference to both Lisa and Debbie, seeing as they have professional schedules. While Ann O'Neill Sousa's commitment is big, it's not like Debbie and Lisa who have working jobs. The mayor's office chief of staff job is pretty much 24/7. So I would give deference to my two colleagues, Debbie Pacheco, vice chair, and Lisa Silva. Having said that, if you were asking me which one I would prefer, I would like the Wednesday at 2 o'clock. But like I said,
Can I hear from Commissioners Debbie Pacheco and Commissioner Lisa Silva?
Hi, Dennis. It's Lisa.
Hello.
So the Wednesday at 2 o'clock would work better for me as well.
Okay.
So,
Vice Chair, go ahead.
Can you hear me, Dennis?
I can.
Okay. So because we're doing it in this format, because I'm able to just be in the office if there's an issue, absolutely, the 2 o'clock would be fine.
Okay.
And I think that will just give us flexibility
Yep.
and not having to feel rushed with doing a 4 o'clock.
Please don't worry about, this sounds weird and I don't mean it to, but don't worry about the future. Don't worry about this now because I think we're going to be in this state for quite a while. So
right.
We can always cross any bridges we have to when we have to.
Right.
So do I hear a motion for 2 p.m. Wednesday afternoon?
Motion.
I'll make the motion that. Go ahead, Danny.
No, go ahead, Madam Vice Chair.
So I make the motion that starting with the November meeting, that we move our meetings to continue on Wednesdays, but that we move the time to 2 p.m.
Okay. Do I hear a second? Okay.
That would be, just to clarify, that would be still the second Wednesday, correct?
Yes, still the second Wednesday, except we'll be starting an hour early. Okay, are we ready to vote, or is there for any further discussion? Okay, press *6 to unmute, and I will ask for a roll call.
Chairman Dennis Pacelli?
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco?
Yes.
Commissioner Lisa Silva?
Yes.
Commissioner Danny Robillard?
Yes.
Commissioner Ann O'Neill Sousa? Harry Howiak.
I will communicate to the mayor's chief of staff the new time.
Dennis, can I just add something? Because I'm just looking at my calendar. So the second Wednesday in November is the 11th. That's a holiday. I don't know if the city's observing it on a Monday or on that Wednesday, but it's Veterans Day.
Yep, it's always so it will be November 18th.
Oh, the 18th. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually I kind of skipped through, but the first item under new business was the new date. It says the next meeting will be Wednesday, November 18th, due to a holiday.
Very good.
So it will be Wednesday, November 18th at 2 p.m. and Veterans Day never changes. They're the only holiday that stays November 11th. They don't celebrate it on a Monday. Okay, I want to go back to Tammy Motino under ADA to see if she's been able to dial in.
Dennis, she was unable to dial in. She's having some difficulties, but she sent me a text message, and at this time she had no updates to report to the commission. So she just wanted me. So let me see. This is what she said. I have nothing to update at this time. She was just going to stop in. Haven't heard of anything happening besides applying for the ADA improvement grant at this time. That is her update.
Which we will find out the results in December. We just got a correspondence from Jeff Dugan, and I replied to him saying it's extremely important that you let the commission know. So I want to know. I want to bring up a friendly item under new business before we adjourn. And that friendly item is I learned on WSAR that there is a committee called the Diversity Committee, which I was unaware existed. I learned it because City Councilor Linda Pereira had mentioned it during the interview. And I guess I'd like the record to record that I would appreciate if the mayor's office would reach out to the Commission on Disability. First of all, because I believe that the disability community is part of diversity. In any situation, we always treated it that way where I worked at Framingham State. Disability was always considered part of the diversity fabric. But also, I guess I'd like to make an appeal to the city that whenever these kinds of committees come up, if it's emergency preparedness or whatever, that this commission be considered. And it may not always be me. I think we have some outstanding commissioners that I feel very comfortable asking anyone to represent the commission. So it doesn't always have to be the chair. It doesn't always have to be the vice chair. I want people to know that, for the city to know, to please reach out to us, because we would like to be incorporated into any decision-making or anything like that affects, because it does affect the disability community. And I feel comfortable asking anybody from the vice chair to anyone on the commission to represent us. If ever I can't do it, and we do have Zoom now, so there's really no reason for us to be excluded from, from these decision making. So does anybody have any further comment on that, or,
Mr. Chairman, very briefly.
Yep, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I've talked about this not so much with diversity, although diversity is definitely one component of where I believe strongly this commission should be involved. But I just want to echo and agree fully with what you said, particularly around emergency preparedness, any kind of hurricane, snowstorm. I can recall seeing all department heads get together, any kind of an evacuation for any kind of emergency. Somebody from the Disability Commission should be at those meetings. I think it's imperative. I also think that any time there's a planned event in the city that's going to be open to the public, a movie night at Durfee High School, any kind of citywide event, when those events are in the planning stages, also somebody from the Disability Commission should be involved in the planning of those events to make sure that all ADA issues are complied with. So there's because we are the advisory commission on all things disability policy related for the city. So
let me ask the commission. Do you think it would be appropriate that a nice friendly letter, just kind of summarizing what the points that were brought out? Do you think a nice letter to the mayor's office would be appropriate? Because that's where all these things seem to start. Is from the mayor. That's where all these things are coordinated. So do you think maybe just kind of a friendly letter to the mayor's office would be appropriate on behalf of the commission? I would entertain a motion and a discussion on that.
I make a motion that we send a very friendly, cordial letter to the mayor's office outlining the points that both the chairman and myself have made regarding the commission's desire to be involved in any event, any emergency situation that with any policy citywide that affects the disability community. We need to have a seat at those meetings, at the table, in the planning stages. That's what we need. It's part of our oversight.
Do I hear a second to that?
I'll second
that. Oh,
thank you.
Go ahead, Lisa. Thank you.
No, that's okay.
That's okay. One of you seconded it, and one of you thirded it. So, okay. Is there any further discussion on that?
Dennis, I don't see anything wrong with sending out that correspondence. I think we do have a new mayor that's in office, and things keep changing, and I just think it'll just help keep our communication with the mayor's office open. I think that's how I'm looking at it, that way, and not necessarily as a negative.
No, that's exactly how I'm looking at it too. I agree.
I don't see it as a negative at all. We've had approximately 5 mayors in the last 8 years, and so
things get lost in transitions and stuff. So,
and for whatever reason, many times I don't think that maybe they're not aware that we wanted to be involved in certain things. This way, it shows them that we proactively want to be involved.
Exactly.
Okay, are we ready for a vote? I'm going to just remind everybody who are muted to unmute, and we'll do a roll call vote.
Chairman Dennis Pacelli?
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco?
Yes.
Commissioner Lisa Silva?
Yes.
Commissioner Danny Robillard?
Yes.
Commissioner Ann O'Neill Souza? Attorney Gary Howiak?
Okay, is there any other new business to come before the commission? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
All right, I will make a motion to adjourn at this time.
Second.
Let's do a roll call.
Chairman Dennis Pacelli?
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco?
Yes.
Commissioner Lisa Silva?
Yes.
Commissioner Danny Robillard?
Yes.
Commissioner Ann O'Neill Souza? And Attorney Gary Howiak?
Well, thank you all. We'll see you on November 18th.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
See you guys later.